Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Stashkina and today we are going to make this beautiful Vifi Paper Daffodil flowers. I will show you how to vein Vifi paper, how to wire your Vifi paper and how to color and assemble everything together. I think daffodils are beautiful spring flowers and now is the best time to learn how to make them. Let's begin. I highly recommend you to download this template. It is absolutely free. It's in the description down below, so don't forget to download your template. And let's talk about Vifi paper. What I use here is a Saracino Vifi paper 0.27 millimeters, but any thin, pliable and soft like regular thickness Vifi paper should work for this application. In general, Vifi paper made out of potato starch, oil and water, and sometimes the name is confused with rice paper, but usually when it refers to rice paper and it looks like this, it's white and it's rectangular, like semi-translucent. Main ingredient for rice paper is rice starch, oil and water, and Vifi paper made out of potato starch. That's the difference. Most like regular thickness Vifi paper has two sides. One side is bumpy side and the other side we call it smooth side or shiny side. They both are equal. It is just a personal preference. It's absolutely up to you which side you prefer to use. I personally use this bumpy side, so this side, because I love to have some texture that I do need to work for. And here on my template you need to cut this corona piece. You will need to cut 3 inner petals and 3 outer petals, and save your scraps of your Vifi paper because that's what I use to make my Vifi paper glue. So basically I just cut Vifi paper to smaller chunks, put it in a glass bowl, shot, add boiling water and mix until it gets so gel-like consistency, and that's how you make your Vifi paper glue. And that's what we are going to use to wire our petals. And to wire our petals, I prefer to wire my Vifi paper petals before I vein them and before I texture them, because I find it's easier to manage. And for Vifi paper in general, you can use thinnest wire you have. I personally prefer to use this 30 gauge wire, or you can even use 32, especially for smaller petals like this size. I'm going to cut my wire in 6 pieces because we need to make 6 petals. And then if you look at your Vifi paper, it usually has 2 sides, as I already told you. One side is bumpy side and one side is smooth side. Because I want to use this bumpy side is my face side, I'm going to apply and stick my wire to the back side. To do that, I'm going to take my piece of wire, a little bit of this Vifi paper glue mixture, and cover my wire in this Vifi paper glue, tiniest amount possible. And then I'm going to stick my wire to my Vifi paper petal and press it down. So now my petal is on a wire and I will set it aside to dry. Okay, so I have 6 petals in total and I will need one of these corona pieces. Let's make our center. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of wire. I have here is 22 gauge wire to be my stamen, and I'm going to make a tiny hook, closed hook like this, and then bring this down. So this is going to be my top part. And then to make my stamens, I will take 3 double-sided stamens. These are just regular Wilton stamens, like you can buy at any craft store or where you can buy stamens. It doesn't matter, we're going to dress them up. So I cut this in half and now I have 6 stamens in my large wire. Let me grab a piece of floral tape. You don't need much, just a tiny piece, and I'm going to cut it in half because what I need is half width floral tape, and stretch it out to activate the sticky side of this floral tape. Take my 6 stamens, roughly the same height, attach them together. stretch it, bring it down a little bit, and then I'm going to insert my wire in the middle, while still have just a few layers of floral tape, so it's not so tight. So I'm poking through my stamens and I'm going to bring them on top almost at the same level here. I'm going to bring my floral tape down and fix my stamens on my wire together like this. And I'm going to bend them, and to dress them up and to cover my wire, I'm going to bring, this is just a cornmeal and a little bit of yellow petal dust. So that's what I have here, and I have Confectioners glaze. I prefer to use Confectioners glaze for applications like this because it dries relatively fast and it allows me to stick all my decorations onto my stamens, wire, Vifi paper, and it's just easy to cover and then submerge into my pollen mixture. And now I have my center in no time. I will set it aside to dry until I can work on that. And let's talk about our Vifi paper conditioner and how to mix our Vifi paper conditioner. What I use for my Vifi paper as a conditioner is a mixture of food grade glycerin, water, maybe a teaspoon, and if you want to get my exact recipe, it's in your class materials, you can download them and use as you need. And I'm going to mix it together. So what I have here, just a touch of glycerin, a few drops, and water. Then I'm going to bring my corn flour or cornstarch to prevent Vifi paper from melting, and my vinegar. And to veining my petals, I'm going to take one of my wired petals, bump it side up, place it on my table, use a little bit of this glycerin and water mixture, and gently brush it on top. And I will put it aside upside down for a few seconds until my conditioner will be absorbed by my Vifi paper. And now when I see that my Vifi paper is soft and I can feel it that moisture got absorbed, I'm going to place it in a vinegar gently and press it down and hold and count till 5. I usually count till 5 because Vifi paper takes a little bit longer to transfer all the textures from the vinegar. And now I have my veined Vifi paper petal. I will put it upside down to dry on a petal former, but I'm not going to force it in any way. If it wants to stay flat, it will stay flat. Let's do this again. Cornstarch will help prevent your Vifi paper from melting, and sometimes it's easier to use a little bit of cornstarch before you placing your petal into a vinegar, especially if it breaks or if it sticks to your vinegar. And to paint our corona piece, our centerpiece, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow gel color into my conditioner mixture, because I want to have the distinct difference between colors for the corona piece and for my petals. So I'm going to mix it together. This is the same mixture. So this is glycerin and water and just a little bit of gel color to paint our corona. I know that my mixture might be not so saturated mixing it up, because I want you to see how color transfers onto Vifi paper if you're using my method of conditioning. And I'm going to paint on my piece on both sides like this. So now we are going to shape it. I will wait for 1 second and see it's still sticky, so I will take a little bit of my corn flour, cornstarch on both sides. I'll take my Dresden Tool. I'm checking that my Vifi paper is not sticky, but it's still soft and very pliable. I will place it face down, so this is my bumpy side, so this is going to be my flower's face. That piece I want it to be visible, and I'm going to use a sharp end of my Dresden Tool and just gently run it through my Vifi paper to add a little bit more texture. Then I will turn it upside down, take my small ball tool and run it across my smooth side. So now I have this piece that I'm going to put together is my central piece. I'll take a little bit of Vifi Paper Glue on one side and here on the bottom, but smallest amount possible. Then I'm going to shape it and close it. And then I will take my center, put it through this corona piece. Make sure that I have all the stamens inside somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to press this down. So something like this. This is going to be our daffodil center. And to make it even more beautiful, we are going to paint it with a little bit of gel color and alcohol. I'm going to use high proof alcohol. I have Everclear, but you can definitely use vodka. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. And I'm mixing here on my palette a touch of orange gel color and my alcohol. So you can see I'm just gently tapping my gel color and alcohol mixture here on my center. And now I have these two shades and my Vifi Paper Daffodil center colored in yellow and orange. This color called Daffodil by the Sugar Arts, so I think it's a perfect color to use for daffodils, but I'm going to use just a little bit here in the central part of our petals, just a little bit to bring it to life and make it more interesting. And I'm going to take a little bit of white floral tape to start, and then I will use green tape to make my stem and put everything together. I'm going to start with assembling my petals. I will tape my center relatively up high, and then I will take 3 of my petals, my inner petals here, and I will start assembling them around my center. Vifi paper is relatively light, so you can place all 6 petals in one layer on your floral tape and it's not going to be a problem because Vifi paper petals are extremely light. And then I will take 3 my outer petals and put them together as well. Here, and my last one underneath. And then, of course, because we have all our petals on a wire, you can play around and you can make your flower more closed or open. That's the beauty of putting your Vifi paper petals on a wire. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. My name is Anna Stashkina and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!